How are you today?
I'm really good. How are you, Bridget?
I'm great. Super
Excellent.
excited that you're able to join today.
Well,
I
I'm
just
happy.
wanted to know that this means a lot to me. Like
Oh,
when I reached out to you, there was no hesitation. You go, oh, sure. I'm like, oh, really?
no, absolutely. I love it. No, this is great. We're talking about important things, but it's an opportunity to kind of connect with you and with others, and seeing where the chamber, and the community can help.
Yes. Thank you so
My
much.
pleasure.
Thanks to everyone that showed up today. This really means a lot to me. I appreciate your support. I do not take this for granted. Thank you so much. Super excited for today. Super excited. And I'm happy to welcome Michael today. Michael has been with the Chambers of Commerce, and I have known Michael, I think, for about 2 years.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
Yeah, roughly,
it flies
roughly,
by.
roughly thereabouts. Um, It is one thing I know, Michael, that you have been doing and you're constant with is the support for the Black community. Every Black community event that I attend, there you go, Michael. And the thing that is astounding about him is that he's tall. So you're definitely going to
I,
pick him out from the.
I stand out maybe a
Oh,
little
yes, you stand up. That's the word. So you just look, there he goes. So who the hell is that guy? That's Michael. So
Yeah,
I don't want to take the spotlight. I would like you to introduce yourself
sure.
just briefly for people that are here to support.
No, I appreciate that. Well, thank you, Bridget. So yeah, my name is Mike Sadavoy. For the last couple of years, and when I first met with you would be when I started working at the St. John Region Chamber of Commerce. I have had just a wonderful time working with different people, different businesses. But one of the things that I absolutely love is working with the new Canadian population, as you talked about. And I'm at all the events, when it comes down to whether it's a Black community event, whether it's Diwali with the Indian population, whether it is anybody. Because the way I always look at it, Bridget, is that we're so fortunate to have so much talent coming in. It's up to us to cultivate that talent and to make sure that um, that people are feeling as welcomed as they possibly can. And it's not easy. I mean, coming from another country,
Not
coming
at
from a
all.
different culture, it's not easy. I mean, I moved from one province to another. I didn't find that easy. I can't imagine coming from Nigeria or China or India or anywhere, coming to Canada and trying to find your footing right away. So, I take it upon myself, and I know the chamber feels the same way. And there's so many other great people in our community that really have been on the forefront of really helping out those new Canadians. I call them new Canadians because we're so lucky to have those who are educated, talented, and the way that I always look at it too is I've made so many lifelong friends through this journey, and I continue to do that. So I'm the one who is grateful for the friendships, but also for the outpouring of love. And I'm just grateful to have the opportunity to do what I do and work with amazing people like yourself.
Yes. So I remember having a discussion with one of the business owners in Uptown, I think not up to 2 weeks. And we had talked about opportunities for business owners, especially, the immigrant entrepreneurs in the city. And we somehow just, touched the base on chambers of commerce. And I asked him, are you a member? He goes, no. I'm like, okay. I remember when I met Michael. I'm sorry, I have to say this.
Sure.
And he came to me and was all chatty, and he spoke so much about chambers of commerce. And I said to myself, this guy just is just all about the numbers for him. Like I'm not getting, like, what is the benefit for me as an immigrant? Like, what is it for my business? You're telling me this is this. It's like selling a car to someone and telling them all the benefits that stands for them buying that car, right? And then going forward to say, oh, I want to buy the car. I'm like, no. And it's surprising to see that I was so adamant that Michael had to get a meeting for me with his team members. I was like,
Well,
oh, really? And it was the follow up. I'm like, oh, no way. This guy should be an executive marketer. Like, he just knows where to touch. I'm like, okay, that's it. And I know, I see that a lot of, entrepreneurs are members and they have benefited a whole lot. So there are a lot of people out there who are that 1% of the Bridget asking those, questions like, what do I stand to benefit? So I'm going to be having asking a few questions that may help, to clear those, little bit of setback to say, oh no, I don't want to be there. There's no benefit for me and stuff like that, right? So I just have one question for you. First, let's start with that. So what are some initial steps?
I was wondering if this was leading up to a question.
So I know people want to know what's in it for me.
Sure.
It's a business. I'm starting a business, or I'm already in a business, or it's a prospecting idea for me. And what's in it for me?
Absolutely.
I need to know. It's not just saying, oh, it's one, it's two. I need a whole list. It's like buying a house. People go, oh, I need 3 bedrooms, you give me 2. No, I want 10 bathrooms and I'm getting a 1.5. I don't want that. I want the whole full option, because if I'm going to be spending thousands of dollars and hundreds into this, then it should be worth the while, right? So, Michael, what are some initial steps immigrant entrepreneurs should take when looking to engage with their local chamber of commerce?
So let's kind of deconstruct what you just said here, because there's a lot of misnomers, and it's not from your end. It's just because I think that there's always people wondering, okay, what does a chamber of commerce do? What can it do for me? And really, when it comes down to it, is we're there for support. Because entrepreneurs, we are aware, cannot do everything on their own. I know the very definition of entrepreneurs are people who start their business by themselves. And so with that very definition, what happens is sometimes people take the onus and they want to do everything, or they feel like they have to do everything. And that's not necessarily healthy, mentally, physically, everything. So what we do with the chamber is we represent in the St. John region. That includes St. John, Grand Bay, Westfield, Rothsay, and Quispamsis. We represent, like 550 plus businesses. And because we have these businesses, we want to work together with entrepreneurs. So there might be people that you need to reach out to who might be experts on taxes. We're in the midst of working with someone right now who's going to be doing a talk about AI. And how AI should be incorporated in businesses. So what we're doing is we're trying to educate and provide resources to these businesses because of the importance. It doesn't matter whether you're a newcomer business or whether you're a business that's been established for 25, 30 years. We want to make sure that we're growing together with you, because if we're not growing, then we're not thriving. So for me and for the chamber, it's really important that you ask for help. And I say this to everybody: asking for help is never a weakness. It's actually a strength. It really is. So if Bridget, and I know your business well, I know that I know what you do. If you come to me and say, and you have in the past, you're like, hi, can you connect me with somebody from this organization? I'm like, 100%. That's what we want to do, because we want to make sure we're stronger together. And that, I think, is just the basis of what a chamber does. We are the community concierge, as you want to say. We help kind of bring people together and try to work with everybody so we can see our community gain traction and grow. Because if we're in silos, we're not doing anything. And so it's in our best interest to make sure people like you, Bridget, are growing and others are growing, because therefore that adds then you are going to bring your family here, or you're going to tell people, come on down, come on to St. John, it's fantastic. And next thing you know, we're building this wonderful strength of a community.
True. Well, true. I know that a lot of business owners have this idea that I can grow on my own, but then again, you have to reach out. People that are already established or people that know the ropes, it would be nice to truly reach out and ask for help. There's an adage in my country that says, "Who asks for direction never gets lost." So
that's right.
Always do like Michael has mentioned, to go that extra miles and seek for help and support to be able to grow your business. So that takes me to asking you that how can immigrant entrepreneurs identify the specific resources and support services that is offered by the chambers? And again, that aligns with their business needs. I know it's not one size fits all.
Absolutely. You're right. And it's a great question. So the best way to do, and what I always do, is I have one-on-one meetings with every single person who wants to come and find out more about what the chamber does. But for me, it's also an opportunity to find out more about their business, whether it's an idea, whether it's established. Everyone has a different point. And so based on what I can identify as to where they are in their journey, I might be able to offer some help and some resource. Now, I'm never going to be the person who's going to go and say, hey, you know what? Like, I know you're in the wedding industry, so I'm never going to say, hey, you know what? This floral design is going to look better, because I don't know that. You know that. That's your space. I can't do that. But what I can do is maybe strategically partner you with somebody, or have you say, hey, by the way, you might want to meet with this person because they have this and they might be able to assist. And they're looking for, so it's just a marriage of people coming together where you can assist their business, they can assist yours, and then we're kind of growing together. So that's where we are. But the thing is that I don't get that information unless I have that meet with you one-on-one, and I never make assumptions. You know, I love the saying that you had there, about, like, you know, those who, about asking directions, you know, never get lost. I have a saying of my own that I'm very strong about, and that is, I give 100% and expect nothing in return. And the reason I do that is because in every relationship that you create with people, it should never be transactional. So, you know, if I'm going in and meeting with you and I'm thinking I'm going to get something at the end of it, then already I'm not being authentic, and I'm not being real. So, you know, when you come to the chamber, when you come to with us, it's all about how we can assist, but how we can assist together. It's about how we can grow together. And it's about, you know, what are some of the challenges you're facing? If I don't have the answer, I know I can find someone who does have that answer. So that's the great thing about what we can do. So if you're a newcomer business and you're looking at starting, I might have someone who can help. If you're looking for funding, I know of some resources that might be able to help. It just depends on where you are in your journey and how, and then it's an opportunity for us to kind of assist from there.
Oh, well, truly appreciate that perspective. Thank you, Michael. I want to say welcome to everyone that's joining. A lot of people are coming in. Thank you so much. Thank you for joining. Thank you for supporting. Thank you. Thank you. Michael, what are some effective networking strategies for immigrant entrepreneurs to build relationship within the Chamber of Commerce community? I know there's
Absolutely.
a great community. There is.
Yeah. Oh, there is. And the community is growing, and the great thing about how growing it is, it's becoming diverse, and I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love how diverse it's becoming. So, networking, and this is something that I've learned along the way, and it's so interesting that I've been learning this from different countries. When they come to Canada, networking isn't something that is very common, like, you know, going out and doing these networking events. So I get a lot of, I don't know if this is for me, or what am I, you know, I'm worried about how I'm going to look. So, and I understand that, because some of us are introverted, some of us are a little bit nervous about meeting new people. What are they going to think about me? Or, you know, who are these people that kind of judge me on this and that? I get it. I understand. So the most important thing, if you want to do a networking event, is to get rid of all that mentality. Get all that out of your head. Yeah, because the most important thing is that every single person who you know, has come to Canada, I mean, I'll talk about newcomers, has an unbelievable story, has unbelievable courage, has unbelievable skills and education, and you are worthy of everybody hearing that story. So that right then in itself, you become more, you have to put yourself up on that pedestal. The thing is, remember I said, give 100% and expect nothing in return. So if you're 100% authentic and you go to these events and these networking events for the sole purpose of just getting to know people, maybe making some friends, you'll be surprised at how quickly a community forms behind you. And I'm a firm, and I'm an example of that, because I really didn't do much networking until I started the job at the Chamber of Commerce. So yeah, and all it is just creating your mentality to make sure that you are going to be, completely authentic. And don't expect to meet everybody in the room. Just keep it simple. Keep your goal simple. Just say, like, I want to meet one or two people. I want to make that that connection with one or two people, and then that's it. And you'd be surprised how enjoyable it is, but also how much you're challenging yourself for the right reasons. And what you're doing is you're creating community, and a community that really wants to meet with you. So it's I know in the very beginning it might be tough for some, others it might not be, but the more you do it, the easier it is, and it is enjoyable. Plus, I'm at them all the time. You have a friend in me already, so so don't worry about that.
So for networking, I know there are a lot of opportunities for not just immigrant entrepreneurs, but also business owners in the community. I find those events very useful, very, very useful, because in the sense that when you go, you try to build connection with one or two people. I remember the recent event they had by, I think, Key Industries.
Yep.
I did reach out to Michael, like, not because I'm not a member of the chambers, no. This is me, one of the 1% saying, tell me how. I need to know what's in it for me 100% before I get in. But that hasn't limited Michael. Michael has supported, even when you're not a member. I remember I reached out to you on several occasions. I just sent email and I get like a prompt response. And I mean that truly means a lot to me. That is you providing that support 100% with no expectation. And I think that is really good, right? But then again, how important is active participation in the chamber events and the committees for immigrant entrepreneurs, and what benefits can they expect from such involvement?
Great question. And it's like anything. If you put in the effort, you will get results. It's like I liken it to like a gym membership. If you're going to join a gym but you don't go, then you're not going to get the results that you probably want to get, right? So
Never.
We do exactly. I know. Although we wish we had that. So it's really it is very important that if you are going to be joining the chamber, that we want to have you active. We want you at some of the events. We want to see you at whether it's a speakers event, and we do a lot of them, or a lunch and learn, the networking events. There's a lot of different committees that we're creating. So there are a lot of opportunities to get out there, and it's not really time consuming either. And it's being part of the community, which is just as important. So, I think that we all, as people who live, in St. John region, or I don't know if everyone's who's tuned in, but wherever you are, it's important that you are part of the community, because therefore you feel like you're making a difference wherever you are. And that's always important as well too. So, I think that you put in what you can, but also at the same time, we want to get that feedback from you. If there are things that we're doing that you think that we can improve upon, and we get feedback all the time, and we utilize that feedback, because we're like, it goes back to not being in our own silos, working with the community. And sometimes the community has some fantastic ideas, and it's up to us to kind of help and create those kind of opportunities for our members. But we don't know unless we get that feedback too.
Yes, you're right, Michael. I totally agree with you. So there's a comment here that says from Deb Tremblay. She said, Mike is the best and one of the most authentic people that I know. He's a great colleague, and it is such a pleasure to work with him. So Michael, really,
Deb,
I support on this.
Yeah, I love Deb.
So I have a question. There's a question for MCTY. She's one of the MCs extraordinaire that we have in New Brunswick. So her question says that I'm going to take that again. My business is just registered with the Chamber of Commerce as a Black entrepreneur. What would you consider my first starting point?
So, first of all, welcome to the chamber. So the first starting point would be to meet with us, so we could find out what it is that you are looking at goal-wise. We always want to look at what your why is. What is it that you are looking to achieve? And therefore, we have an idea as to what we can do, through the chamber and through our chamber partners, and how we can best help. So we want to make sure that that you're feeling supported. And I say this to everybody, and I'll say it to you, is that I'm the world's worst mind reader. So you're going to have to tell me everything. So so that's why it's important that you be very upfront and honest and real with us, so we know what we want, and therefore when we meet with you, we have a better understanding of how we can help and how we can assist you and your business.
Yeah. So I hope the response was helpful to you, MCTY. So if you have any comments, you have questions, please feel free to just, type that down, and I'll be reading those out to Michael for his response. So Michael, that takes me to the next question. So can you provide examples of successful collaboration or partnership between immigrant entrepreneurs and Chamber of Commerce? Like, what made this collaboration successful?
What makes this collaboration successful is the people. It's always going to be the people. The people are what make everything successful. We're nothing without the people, and I can say this with full, with all my heart, is that we've been so lucky to have some amazing people, immigrants coming to our city. I have met, I would say, hundreds of them, and I cannot believe the amount of talent and education and expertise that we have in our city. There is a gentleman who I had the opportunity to meet recently, who did a $4 billion project management project in Kazakhstan, and now lives in our city. I mean, this is the kind of talent that we're bringing in. So, like I said before, it's so important that we cultivate this, and that we're not just welcoming, that we are, that we're cultivating while welcoming people into our city. And by giving everybody that opportunity to feel welcomed, but also feel as if that, they're part of the community, because that way it does two things. One, it makes you feel more comfortable, and two, you're less likely to leave when you feel there's a community around you. So then you're in our clutches.
Yeah.
for all the right reasons. So we're excited by the amount of talent, and I say talent with capital TALENT, all capitalized, because there is so much talent that's coming in, and we're so lucky that they are choosing that you all are choosing St. John, and it's up to us to really, like I said, cultivate that.
Okay. So I have two more questions in the comment section, and a buyer and accessories by Agbeke. She did ask a question that goes like this: how do I register my business with the Chamber of Commerce, and what is required for me as an entrepreneur to start in, or just start in?
Sure, yes. If you want to start with the Chamber, you can go right online, or you can find me on LinkedIn or email, or just or send me. I think it's my information up on the Instagram. I don't know.
They can click on your handle to send the messages.
Yeah,
Does that work? Is that okay by you? Okay, so on the post that was made introducing Michael as a guest, you can go there and click on his handle and then send him all the questions you have. And that's okay. You have to support 100%. Send all your questions in.
Yeah, no, please find me, because what I'll do is I will take the time to not only meet with you, but also find out what your business is, and then I will personally help sign you up. But at the same time, I want to know what it is that you are, what's going on with your business, how we can help, and what we can do to see. I mean, one of the things that I think that we should also mention that the Chamber does, and what a Chamber really is all about, is the supporting of businesses. So we do a lot of support based on our advocacy. So when I say advocacy, I mean that if there are challenges or anything that's impeding growth in certain businesses, we at the Chamber take those issues and we lobby on behalf of mostly small businesses to different levels of government, whether it's municipal, federal, provincial. We even lobby other businesses, like we've done recently with Air Canada, to get other flights because our business community has asked us to. So those are some of the, so supporting businesses is what the Chamber is all about. We've been around for over 200 years, 205 years to be exact. We're one of the oldest chambers in Canada. So when we're, when we're talking about, what we've done in the past and what we're continuing to do, it's all about the businesses that keep that are thriving, and when they thrive, we're so happy about that, and we want to make sure that we're all part of that success story.
Yeah. So I have one more question. A question from MCTY. Is the St. John Chamber of Commerce different from Moncton?
We're actually very similar in what we do. I mean, there might be some differences, administratively, but overall, what the St. John Region Chamber of Commerce does, or what the Greater Moncton Chamber of Commerce does, the goals are very similar. So again, it comes down to lobbying, supporting businesses. We're very close with Moncton. In fact, Mark Peltier, who works over there in Moncton, who does my job, I'm going to be going there later this month to visit him, and he's coming over here so we could see some of our different events, so we can kind of take note, and we can kind of like, oh, I like what they're doing, because we're all about the support. Now, the great thing is when we do a lobbying effort, what's great too is we like to include Moncton and Fredericton, our sister chambers, because it's power in numbers. So it's very important that we are very close and that we do a lot of communication with those chambers. And they're wonderful. They run very well. So if you're in Moncton or the Moncton area or the Fredericton area, we're very supportive, and we want to make sure that that they see the benefit of what the chamber does, and they do wonderful work.
Oh wow, that's great, Michael. Thank you. I think I met the director, I think last year in April. Yeah, okay. So I was in course, and he came, and I went to introduce myself. I'm like, oh, hi, I brought out my card. I'm always ready.
I'm so happy to hear that you're going to networking events, Bridget. That warms my heart. It warms my heart.
So I knew he was coming, and he was going to be the first person. If it means me standing in line with others that want to meet him, I'm going to be on the queue. And he was such a really nice guy. And when he was walking out, I walked up with him, and I kept telling myself, I'm like, here's my card, Bridget. I'm like, oh, thank you. That's just all I wanted. Okay, so how can immigrant entrepreneurs effectively communicate their unique value propositions and business needs within the Chamber of Commerce environment?
So there's many ways.
I know that every business have their propositions, and I know a lot of people struggle because they know nothing about that, and who have just started business as well.
Yeah. So if you're looking to start a business, there are a lot of different things, and that's where I love to do a strategy session with different entrepreneurs, or those that are looking to get into those space. We have great partners and great members that do those things specifically. I'm sure you're aware of Connection Works, for example.
100%.
Yeah. So they're a partner of ours. In fact, two of the owners are from Connection Works, Doug and Heather. They are on our board, the chamber, because we're a nonprofit. So yeah, they work so well with entrepreneurs, and so those are the time that or opportunities. New Brunswick, ONB, Working NB. We have a lot of different partners that can help. We also have Periscope. I'm sure you're familiar with Matt. So and he works really well with a lot of the entrepreneurs as well too, or those that are starting business. Sorry,
that Matt George?
No, it's Matt. He used to work with the YMCA, and now he's got his own company called Periscope Accelerator Program, and so they're wonderful. And so we have a lot of great. So sometimes it's just what we do is we help navigate the waters, because I can only imagine as an entrepreneur, you're coming in and it's like, whoa, I have the whole world. Where do I start? So sometimes it's sort of like piecing it together and sort of like, okay, how about you do this? Or you want to incorporate your name? ONB is where you want to go first. Or you need a good, you want to kind of go through some courses, or, you want to go through a leadership course. Maybe there's Prude, or there's Connection Work. There's so many different avenues to go. And it's just finding out what you want to do, what your priorities are, and then just having those conversations so we can kind of get you on your way, but having you meet with the right people and the really good people that are going to be there to support you.
Yeah. What role does mentorship play in supporting immigrant entrepreneurs within the Chambers of Commerce, and how can they assess membership opportunities? Because I know that I'm not sure, or correct me if I'm wrong here. So I would like to know like the membership categories, right? Is there like a different fee for students and the regular, business owners? Please, you want to shed more light on that?
Sure. Yeah. So there is a different fee structure. So just to first talk about mentorship, I really strongly believe in mentorship. I believe mentorship is so important. I've had the honor of being a mentor, but I would almost say that I learn more from the mentees than they probably get from me, which is probably not a really good selling point for myself. But because I'm learning so much about the culture they come from, and also how they're looking at St. John right now, and they're providing some really important information, as in some of the struggles, like whether it's finding housing, health, like finding a doctor, schooling, and so there's a lot of things that I get out of it. So therefore, when there's challenges that come up, and I'm in a committee or something like that, I can help bring those things up. And it's really important that we have those kind of conversations. So I learn a lot as well too. So to get back to the structure, yes, there are different fee structures for joining the chamber. It's not expensive, which is great because we are a non-for-profit. So being a non-for-profit, we're not all about like, okay, we need to make X number of dollars by this quarter. I mean, this is why I kind of like being in the non-for-profit space. But so if you are a single entrepreneur, you would be paying $260 a year. That's per year. Now, if you are an MBA student and you're currently doing your MBA, you get free membership into the chamber. And it's our way of, kind of giving you that support right off the bat. So when you do start a business, you will see the value of what the chamber can provide. And luckily, we've been able to do that. And I want to make sure that we have more people aware of that. In fact, the MBA, UNB MBA is hosting our next Mixer event, which is on March 20th.
I saw the advert.
Yeah.
So just a quick one. You did mention that MBA students they have the free membership opportunity. Does that go on forever, or is just the first year is free?
Yeah, no, it's as long as they're a student, if they're doing their UNB and they're a student, then yes, then they get free membership. And once they're no longer a student, then that kind of goes away. But they still have, and here's the thing I really want to stress: just because that membership or whatever goes away, it's not like we're going to stop talking to you. I mean, look, I mean, Bridget, I mean, I know that we had a conversation. I'm going to be completely honest, and
oh, yeah.
and you were, and I love you, Bridget. You're the best. And you said like, man, maybe this is not for me. That's, you know what? I'm still going to support you because I still want you to do well.
You have been genuinely supported. You've been in my corner, and it means a lot to me. Like, thank you, Michael. Like, a lot of people, I know a lot of people wouldn't do this. They're like, well, she's a member, so why do I have to help her? Oh no, you're always available to point the direction, like to people who are looking for directions. And if there's anything I admire about you, I think that's just the one thing for now, right? I know you're a very hardworking person, always there to support people. I truly appreciate that about you, and I admire that about you. So I'm just going to quickly glance into the charts. Thank you, MCTY. So there's a question from Gladys. How does the Chamber of Commerce St. John help business with business environment analysis?
Business environment analysis. Are they talking about a business plan? Is that what they're talking about? I'm trying to figure out what the. So
Gladys, please, do you want to shed more light on your question on the chat so Michael will be able to assist you with that? Okay. So now, Michael.
That's a great question. I just want to make sure I'm going to answer it. The proper way.
You can just go ahead and just restructure it in a way that we can provide the right. You can provide the right response to her.
Yeah.
Are there any specific training programs or workshops that is offered by the chambers that especially entrepreneurs should prioritize attending? I remember when I met with you and your team, and I kept saying that there are trainings that new people would love to attend. And as member, do I stand to get all of this opportunity? And I remember your colleague was like, oh, what are those things? And I remember mentioning some of those. And I'm wondering how far that has shed light for people that are members now. So that comes back to the question on specific programs, workshops, like that are available for entrepreneurs.
So I'm so happy you asked that because we've adopted some of the stuff that you said, because again, it's all about how we can better ourselves. I remember in our conversation you mentioned, is there an opportunity for a marketing, for someone to do some marketing, because marketing help is so important for entrepreneurs, right? So we've teamed up with Millbury Marketing, and on April the 9th, or is it April 9th? Yes, April 9th, they're going to be doing a lunch and learn all about how you can better market your business, your small business, with the point of, kind of getting yourself out there. And so we also are going to be at the end of May, teaming up with somebody about cybersecurity and about the importance of that. Also, I talked about AI and the AI. So we're excited about those possibilities. So we're always looking for great lunch and learn opportunities. I mean, coaching. These are the workshops that we don't put together, but our partners do and our members do, and that's what I love. It's the member to member, members to members working together, and that's the real power. We don't have anything to do with that because we're not the experts. You don't want me going up there talking about cybersecurity, because it's going to be a very quick conversation and you're going to ask for your money back. So the whole idea is that that we're getting the experts to help arm you and provide you with the resources so it can help you and your business grow, and those are the kind of things that we love doing. And and it doesn't matter whether you're a new business or you've been established for how many years. Everyone, there's always learning somewhere.
There is always. How can immigrant entrepreneurs navigate the potential language barriers or cultural barriers when engaging with chambers? Because I know a lot of, I know the whole work environment is getting diversified, and also the community, a lot of people coming in from Africa, from Middle East, from Asia, just around the world. Like, what is that barrier that I know there's a relation to language and culture, and how has that been engaging for the chambers? Sorry.
Right. So there's a lot. So if language is a barrier, and I understand that it might be for some, there are free courses that are offered through maybe the St. John Newcomer Center. Also, YMCA offers courses as well too. And one of the things that actually really helps, and I've heard this from many newcomers that have come here where English wasn't their first language, is the networking aspect. They gained so much confidence, but also almost English education like that, just by having conversations. And most people realize that if somebody is from another country and English, they're not going to be not want to talk. In fact, they're more impressed about somebody who is trying the language and they really respect that, especially if somebody is brand new. I remember meeting with somebody at an event that Dragonfly put together many weeks ago, and she was from this woman, and her husband came from Ukraine. They were here for 4 days. They were here 4 days. They went to our first event, didn't know but they tried the language, and next thing you know, I'm meeting with them and their English is improving. And it's just like, I even said that. I'm like going, wow, this is really impressive. Like, you're doing so well. And it's just because they put themselves out there, and they're making, and they're challenging themselves, and not putting that much pressure on themselves, because, if you're going to put that pressure on yourself, it's probably unfair.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do. So what advice would you give to immigrants, especially the entrepreneurs who are seeking to leverage the benefits of the chambers of commerce, but may feel hesitant to ensure or unsure about how to start?
Okay. So are we talking about there's lots of different benefits. If you're talking about the tangible benefits and the member to member, anyone who joins a chamber, there are benefits. Like, for example, there could be group health plan. I mean, our partners with Impact Wealth. So, you get health insurance. Yeah. So there is a health insurance. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So you do have access to the #1 plan in Canada. So that's huge. That's huge. And a lot of people have joined because they want to have access to that. There might be, you know, we have our partners at Acadia Broadcasting, at the radio. So if they want to have free radio spots for joining, you have access to that. You know, we have, you know, we work with so many different partners, whether it's through budget for rental cars. So those are some of the things that we provide, not we provide, sorry, that our members provide to other members. And we're always looking for other ones too. And so we're always looking at ways where, okay, if there is a member-to-member way, something that can help save people money, we're always looking at that. Like we have Flagship, for example, for those who are not shipping. They go through all these different cost structures, and they look at the cheapest one, and then you get that shipped out. So if you're a company that does a lot of shipping overseas or within the country, within the province, then those are opportunities that that you could take advantage of, and it could be a cost saving as well too.
That's some great opportunities that the chambers are offering out to its members. That's great. Yeah. So I've had Gladys review the questions and to say that to help review and develop a niche and proceed with a business plan and execution. So probably that should be on business plan.
So is that from Gladys? Okay. Hi, yes. Gladys. Okay, so Gladys, the best advice I can give is, because we don't do business plans, I'm not one to execute that stuff because there's people smarter than I to do that. However, I could put you in touch with somebody who is phenomenal and would be able to take a look at business plans and does this for a living, and it's their business. And yeah, I'm happy to connect you with somebody. That's what we do. We connect. Bridget, I've said this before and I'll say it again. I might not be the smartest person in the room, but I want to be the most handy. So if I can connect you to somebody smarter, I like that. Connect you to somebody smarter, it's always a good thing. So, so Gladys, like you also, if you want to get in touch with me, I'm happy to put you in touch with it. Just send me a message with your email, and I will connect you.
Okay, so I have just a few, by the way, questions that I feel may be handy to people that are here today. So, what advice do you have for new immigrants who are looking to start a business in the community?
Wow, it's a great question. If you're looking to start a new business, the most important thing is the mindset and knowing that it's okay to ask for help. It's okay to leverage the community to get that help, and to be willing to learn and be willing to be open to different ideas and challenges that you may face. The other thing too is, if you're looking to start with a business, I would definitely recommend some of the amazing partners that we have, and that's where I'm happy to kind of sit down with you and look at some of those options, and we can kind of put you in touch with, so because there might be some funding opportunities if you're looking for that. There might be some leadership opportunities if you're looking for that. There might be some futurepreneur opportunities. So there are so many different ways to go, but it also depends on your business as well too. I mean, where do you need the assistance from? I mean, is it like a shipping? Is it going to be, in the services? Is it just an idea for now that you're just making it like a side hustle? So it really all depends on what you are doing or what you're looking to do, and then how we can best leverage that in finding the right resources for you.
Wow, lots of opportunities here, and yes. I've actually been taking down notes, so surprisingly I've been taking down notes because I know this is a learning opportunity for me as well. Nobody knows it all, I'm learning. Thank you, Michael. I truly appreciate all of this information, the valuable information. I know there are a lot of resources that are available in the city. So would you want to touch light on some of those as well? I know there's the Prod Inc., there's Work Connection with the Immigration Essential Trainings. I'm not sure if that's the right name for that. And then we have BBI. Yep. That's the one that's been managed by Jocelyn. So are there other resources that you feel or that are going to be valuable to people that are entrepreneurs in the city?
Yeah, no, actually, one I really need to touch upon, and they've been doing some great work, is Black Lives Matter. you know, and I know they've put together a program to help find, you know, like carpenters and skilled trained workers, because we all know that that is a missing piece in our community. So they've been doing such a great job, and we're thrilled to have them not only as members but partners as well too. And you know, in fact, I've introduced a few of the people that we've had who are, you know, construction companies, or, you know, maybe they do housing, and, you know, and said, hey, you know, might want to take advantage of this. So they're wonderful as well too, and they have those kind of programs as well. Connection Works, Prude, the Newcomer Center does a lot of work with that. You know, I know I'm missing quite a few. YMCA, you know, they're also a really good resource as well. There's a lot, CCRW, there is, I'm just trying to think of everyone on the Job Developers Network right now, because there is a lot. And they all do wonderful work, and really, you know, it's a matter of finding, you know, your place. And it's not easy. It's never easy to find your place in any community, but, you know, the quicker way to find it is by connecting yourself with like-minded people, and people who really want to, you know, help, and therefore you're going to feel empowered. So, and I say this every single time I'm in a conversation, I always want to make people feel empowered. And so that's where, you know, because when we're all empowered, we just, you know, we're excited to kind of get that ball rolling.
Thank you, Michael. So now, if you were to give one advice to yourself, like your 20-year-old self or 30-year-old self, what would that one advice be?
My advice, 20-year-old self. Wow, that's going back. Yeah. So my advice would be that the best advice I ever got is, and I put this in quotes, my life is not a meaningless quest for the approval of others. So there's a lot of times that we are constantly worry about what other people are thinking or judging upon ourselves, and that takes up, as the kids would say, a lot of real estate in our brain, or taking up a lot of real estate in our head. So you know, I think it's important to always be present. It's important to always be you know, because when you're present, you're not worried about the past, you're not worried about the future, you're just you're in the zone right now.
True.
And you know, and I really wish I told my 20-year-old self that 99% of what you worry about never happens.
Oh yeah,
because it's
I
true.
agree, 100%.
Because most of what you worry about is either already happened or hasn't even happened yet, and you're trying to predict the future. And again, it causes unwanted stress, and we all are victim of that. So I really wish that if I went back in time, I would have drilled this into my 20-year-old self, because you find out later on. It's a good thing you eventually learn it, but sometimes you're like, wow, all the stuff I worried about that were just meaningless, and it took up a lot of stress and anxiety in my life that wasn't necessary.
Thank you, Michael. For those of you that are looking to connect with Michael, due to maybe because you want to join the membership for Chambers of Commerce, or you need the list of the resources he's mentioned, please go to Life with Bridget. Under the post I made introducing Michael as a guest speaker, his handle is there, so you can click on it and send him a message. Please. Yeah. Thank you all for joining. I truly appreciate this.
My pleasure.
Michael,
my pleasure.
Thank you so much. I have learned a lot. I have my pen and my little writing part that I'm learning. I say that every episode that you know that happens, I always have a jotter and a pen, because I see it as a learning opportunity for me while I make all the noise I want to make here. Thank you, Michael. And thanks for everyone who showed up today to support. This means a lot to me. Please do not forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Life with Bridget. We're still trying to navigate the waters with the social media, but we've got the handles all Life with Bridget on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Thank you for joining. We look forward to the next episode. You have a good evening and enjoy your weekend.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.